Yeah.
But she's very particular about that lion.
Mm-hmm.
There's other children that it might be a blanket, but as long as it's a fluffy blanket, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great for y'all.
It makes it easier.
Because you can just go buy one if you're on vacation.
True.
And you forgot that other fluffy blankie.
Yes.
And then there's other children like mine that don't have attachments to anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. He has meltdowns if things don't go exactly to plan. So if he had a backpack, a lunchbox, and a blanket, then by God, he better still have all three of those things because he's particular, but not particular in this support type of way.
Yeah. He doesn't have something he carries with him everywhere he goes.
Right.
That must be nice. I don't know what that's like, not to panic over stuff.
I promise you should feel no jealousy towards me because he has plenty of things going on.
Well, it's considered a normal emotional progression, and they say, and by they I mean Google, says that most will self-wean from their object by age 5. So mine's 4. He will be 5 in a couple of months.
And it makes sense because their mindset of reasoning is really kicking in. It doesn't even fully develop until they're 7 when they can kind of understand right from wrong, things like that. So their reasoning is just starting to build up at 5.
Yeah, it has to do with their brain development and what they're able to understand that mom and dad are coming back for me. I'm going to be okay. That's a really normal.
And be able to think through a situation.
Yeah, and so they're like, oh yeah, I know this is how this goes. I know I go to school, and I know I get picked up after school. So by 5 is when that starts to happen because they pick up that routine of, this is what I'm going to do every day, Monday through Friday. And they start to set into that, and that's good. They do not recommend taking items away forcefully because it causes unnecessary anxiety. I mean, most of the time, teachers are cool, especially at this age, like pre-K, kindergarten, and maybe even into first grade. The teachers are very understanding that your kid has...
And they want your kid to have a good relationship with school.
Yeah, and so, ripping the teddy bear out of your child's arm while they go to school is not... It's not good for anybody. It's not good for your kid. It really sucks for that teacher that has to deal with that for the day.
And they might start acting out physically with the other kids because they're upset.
Harms the other kids, yeah, because it's just a whole thing, right? That's not what anybody needs. So usually talking to the teacher and being like, hey, I know this is a pain, but this is how my child copes with the world. Most teachers are like, oh yeah, we got 12 of those in here. Don't worry about it. Because they set up routines where... So my son knows now, because they've set up routines at school, that his tag, when he goes to class, goes in his backpack or his pocket. He can get it out again later at after lunchtime if he wants. He can definitely have it at nap time. And then he can have it, like before the end of school or something.
And I like the idea of almost like an opportunistic type of schedule where... These are your opportunities to have your comfort item, and then while you put them down, what's great is now you get to go play on the playground. What's great is now you get to go participate in art class, and so there's an option for what we're not doing when we get to put that thing away.
Yeah,
but still have opportunities in the future.
And it helps the kids realize that I didn't need that to do art.
Yeah, it's totally fine that it stayed back in the classroom. It was fine. It was still there when I got back.
I couldn't see it, but it was still there when I got back.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of it is learning that that's an option for them. You can start these routines with your child at home by doing... I was reading about people were doing goodbye methods. Like, you're leaving the blanket because you're running down the street to the store. And so you go, okay, blanket, we're going to leave you right here and we're going to be right back. And you take the kid, hopefully not crying and screaming, because hopefully they're participating in this goodbye ritual where they leave their blanket or whatever. They get in the car, you go to the store, you're at the store for 10, 15 minutes, because they said short periods of time. And so in my mind, I'm thinking 10 to 15 minutes. Mind you, that's how long it takes me to get to town.
Right.
So, forget getting into the store. I haven't even made it to town that time. But, we'll say 30 minutes. Let's just meet in the middle. So, 30 minutes, you're back home, and then the kid gets to go in and find their object and be like, okay, it was fine. I was fine. It was fine. Because kids tend to personify their items.
Especially when they name them.
Yeah, like they can name their stuffies are the most common, right? That they really like. That is like another person to them. They feel and love it just as much as they would a person. And so I think that these goodbye rituals can be kind of a beneficial emotional development because they tell you their parents bye, right?
And I do that all the time. I say, all right, now say goodbye to literally inanimate objects of like a binder. Like, okay, we're done with this book. Can we go put it back on the shelf? So say goodbye to the bunny rabbit or whoever's on the front cover of it.
Yeah. But that's how you're moving him through it, right? You're like, okay, and now we're done.
I also have to have words to say with my kid because my kid needs constant communication. And so sometimes I'm rambling. I'm sure in public it looks very interesting.
Like this woman over her.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Google, it was really hard to find an article on just about comfort objects. I really wanted to talk about the psychology behind it because that just fascinates me, is in the child development and the psychology behind the stuff. But apparently there aren't any like people researching this because it's all old research. Like there's no new research because they're like, I think we reached a wall with this. We know what happens. It hasn't changed in 100 years, so we just leave it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I did find an article from 2023 from careforkids.com. It's an Australian blog. I was still able to read it in English, though. Anyway, I digress. I thought I was funny and nobody laughed. The strong bond. You're making faces at me. It's called The Strong Bond Between Children and Comfort Objects. They kind of touch on the psychology of the objects. They were talking about some of the benefits of the comfort objects. They said overall, transitional objects make children feel good and help them manage experiences. So, relaxing and going to sleep, companions that the children can talk to, sleep alongside, and share experiences. I don't know about you as a kid, but I totally had stuffed animals that I talked to on a regular basis.
Well, I only had silkies, so I rubbed something silk in between my fingers.
I did that too.
Oh yeah, well
I had everything.
I remember going to my grandparents' house and not having, and they were typically just like a little square of some kind of silk blankie or something. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to my grandparents' house one time. And I was probably 5, 6, 7, I don't remember, but I was upset. And my grandmother handed me a set of underwear, and they were granny panties. Okay, they were no fancy silky panties that you're thinking. They were definitely granny panties that just so happened to be slightly silky, and probably still full of polyester. And and it definitely left a very long impression on me. So I don't.
But did you sleep with the underwear?
Absolutely, I did. What else was I supposed to do? This is my option.
Like, yes. I remember when that parachute material was really popular.
Oh, yeah. They started making, like, backpacks and everything with it.
Well, I had, like, whole outfits made of the parachute material, you know, because that was cool. Parachute pants, and it was, like, soft and silky and satiny feeling. And so, like, forget wearing the satin rubbing. The whole outfit was satin, and so I could literally just sit and rub my clothes.
Sensory overload for me. I would never have been able to.
I was like, I'd be like sitting in class, and my teachers would be like, "Be still," and I'm like, I am being still, but in the whole time I'm rubbing my clothes because they're soft and they're silky.
I could not handle that.
So, anyways, side note: I totally only buy jackets with satin pockets so that I can stick my hand in the pockets and rub the pockets.
Okay, so I know we're talking about, like, children's comfort items. I definitely believe that all of us find some kind of support in something as we grow. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, there's, like, this negative connotation to your child having a old raggedy blanket. And I feel like that's sad, because I think that everyone can relate. Mm-hmm. Adults have comfort items. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you call it your comfort item, it's something that you find enjoyment in. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I was talking to... I want to tell you the story. Hold on. Is it... okay,
yourself.
So, yeah...
wait, hold on. Let me pour more wine.
This is definitely an adult story.
Let me pour more wine. Hold on.
So... I've had a few acquaintances. Starting school does that. You make new acquaintances, right? And we're doing an after-school program with my kiddo, and this woman, very kind. I was chit-chatting with her, and she was previously law enforcement. She's not anymore, but anyway, I'm not going to get into everything. I have a thought. So sometimes I have conversations with people that stir up thoughts that I don't necessarily always talk to that individual about, because I have learned
they probably don't enjoy
that is not the most appropriate action.
So then you have those conversations with me.
Yes. So here's my conversation with you.
Okay.
So what I need to understand is there some kind of correlation with this, with individuals that are getting pulled over by law enforcement that for some reason are an individual that are getting searched? So for whatever reason, these individuals, their car is getting searched. Why is there so many of them with dildos in their car? I just don't understand.
Y'all can't see my face right now, but my face on my eyes just went...
Right.
Like, that's not where I thought we were going with this at all.
To the listeners, ask a law enforcement friend. Okay? Why is there this many people? Like, where are you going with it? Like,
why are you taking it with you?
If you're stopped in traffic, you still got plenty of windows for people to see you, and I'm pretty sure you get arrested. So, like, it's not happening in traffic. Where are you going?
Oh, my God.
Where are you taking it?
And why is it in your car? Why is it in your car?
So that was the thought I had.
That's nasty. I'm just thinking of how dirty your cars are.
Well, people in general are nasty.
True.
All people. Like, I have cleaned way too many public women's restrooms to not go, y'all are all nasty.
For real, though. For real, though. Like, we're supposed to be adults at work, and our bathrooms get disgusting. And I'm like, come on. We're all adults here. Are we not? We're adults. There are no children allowed in our lab area, so I know we're all fucking adults.
So anyway,
digression.
Everyone has comfort items. I don't really understand if that is one or not. That was my question.
I guess it could be. I mean, it could provide a sense of comfort.
I just don't understand where they're going.
No. I did not. When you were like, I'm going to tell a story.
Or do they have, like, one at home and one in the car? It's like their car one.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
because,
I keep
kids
hand
have
sanitizer.
car blankets and versus home blankets or school blankets.
This shows my obsession to a T. I have a hand sanitizer bottle that stays in the backpack that I take with me to take care of my kiddo. So it's got, like, extra clothes, things like that in it. Candy, things like that. I have hand sanitizer for my purse, and it's dedicated to my purse. Yes. I've got a hand sanitizer dedicated to my kitchen counter.
Okay.
And then I have a hand sanitizer in each car.
Yes.
Very dedicated locations.
Yes.
So is this what this is? Like, do they have a dedicated dildo?
You know, we're going to put that out there into the world. Do you have a dedicated dildo?
And if so, is this a comfort thing?
We're just needing to know. Help us understand.
Is it something that, like, there's a world out there where all of these individuals absolutely know why this is occurring, and the rest of us are, like, completely clueless?
And maybe it's normal, and maybe we're abnormal because we're not doing this.
I don't know.
Let us know your thoughts, because now I'm curious, and now I want to research it, but then I'm really worried what my Google searches are going to pop up.
I'm not researching it. Absolutely not. I don't need that in my algorithm.
I actually might research this later. We're going to see. This wine is going to become my new comfort obsession because
it's amazing.
So damn good. Like, I seriously can't stop sipping it. It's so good. It's very chocolatey, and it just feels warm in my tummy.
Hands down, if y'all want to try something a little different, but still amazing, do this.
This is really good. Alright, so back.
Walla Walla, Washington.
So back to the topic. They said, so in this article, because now I've got to get back on track, because now I've completely lost myself. This Care for Kids article, they talk about that the phenomenon of comfort objects tends to be a Western world problem. And they say that that's because children tend to sleep apart from their parent. So I'm taking Western world as being like America and Europe, because that's where children are generally given their own rooms. Yeah. And they don't sleep with mom and dad. Like, we don't share a room. We don't share a bed. I don't know what that's like, because I still have a 4-year-old that sleeps at the foot of my bed. So...
Like a canine.
Yes. We did get him his own mat, you know? Like, he has a cot that he sleeps on, that he can pop out and sleep on at the foot of the bed. Yeah, because I'm really tired of him being on my bed. Because then I can't sleep because I'm kicking